Surrounding high school sports this fall are still being ironed out.
The Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association's COVID-19 task force presented recommendations to the board of directors today on how sports can start in the fall while keeping students safe.
Now, Western Mass News reporter Sarah Gurnelli sat through the meeting and she has more on what was discussed. Sarah.
The MIAA board recommended to push the opening of fall sports a little further to September 14th. The game plan for fall sports is under review by the MIAA, the state's high school sports association. Their COVID-19 task force presented recommendations to board members during a virtual meeting Monday.
We're putting forth a recommendation that the MI Board of Directors adopt September 14th, 2020 as the start date for fall sports.
The board says they would like to push back the start date to help students adjust to heading back to school in September. However, it's still unclear exactly which sports will be allowed in the fall. The most recent guidance from the state splits sports into 3 categories from low, medium, and high risk for COVID-19 transmission. Football, for example, is a high risk since it's a close contact sport where respiratory particles could easily be transferred. The MIAA will revisit their recommendations once the state finalizes their school year plan.
We will ultimately have to wait for the publication of state guidelines on athletics from DESE, the Department of Public Health, and the Governor's Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs to determine whether we will be able to offer a full slate of fall athletics.
Meanwhile, the athletic director in West Springfield is busy planning for the future of sports, telling Western Mass News they want to make sure each student athlete will stay as safe as possible while playing the game they love.
There's a number of different things, the social distancing, obviously, sanitation of stuff, how are we going to do that, making sure that we're sanitizing stuff properly. Those are 2 of the major things that I'm worrying about. Other things is venues, if I have 300 athletes, how am I going to separate that so that, 1, they have access to the fields, 2, we're doing the social distancing, 3, we're tracking the athletes and the attendance.
Now, the MIAA says they will meet 3 days after the state releases their guidance for the school so they can come up with their own game plan. Live in Chicopee, I'm Sarah Gurnelli for Western Mass News.